Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Files podcast with your co-hosts Brandon Deutsch and Grant Mona. We're going to answer some sit-start suggestions, all that stuff. We got the TikTok live rolling. This is going to be posted afterward. So we're going to go question by question. So keep shooting them out. And again, I'm not going to see them there. He's going to tell me right here, similar to like the Pat McAfee show. Again, I'm not standing up. We're not going to be as raunchy as that. But again, going to be answering these questions. We're in the studio right now recording the pod. So you guys are all on it. So you guys are going to have to check it out after we're done answering all the questions. So
all right, here's the first question for
let's see. What's the first question?
Should I accept Eckler, McBride, and Kirk for Swift, Ayuk, and Thielen?
Swift, Ayuk, and Thielen. Repeat that? Swift, Ayuk, and Thielen is a gauntlet.
They should they accept Eckler, McBride, and Kirk for Swift, Ayuk, and Thielen?
Keep Swift, Ayuk, and Thielen. Thielen right now is balling. I mean, you really can't trade a guy like that because he got like 11 targets last week, only 15 fantasy points. That didn't matter. He was still able to produce at an elite level. So, again, I think right now Thielen is a must-start, and you can't trade him. And Swift, it's so hard to get a top 10 running back. DeAndre Swift, you can't trade. And Ayuk's my buy low guy. I mean, Ayuk is a stud. I know, he had a great, what do you have, 20 fantasy points last week? 15, 16, 17? He's consistent. Even when Debo comes back, I think that even opens up more for Brandon Ayuk. So.
Here's another one. Had someone offer me Barkley, Mike Evans, and Javonte Williams for Breece Hall and Mostert. So that's Barkley, Mike Evans, and Javonte Williams for Breece Hall and Mostert.
Decline.
So you're getting two running backs.
No. They have Breece Hall and Mostert?
Yes.
They have Breece Hall and Mostert.
So they're getting Barkley, Evans, and Javonte Williams.
Keep Breece Hall and Mostert. Evans is a sell high guy for me. I think Chris Godwin's been out targeting him by a lot recently. And I also think that if we're looking at the metrics, Javonte Williams had a great game, but he's not going to be consistent. And I love Javonte Williams. I'm saying that as a Javonte Williams supporter. I was super high on him last year. I was super wrong about him when I said, he's a second rounder going into last year. Then he got hurt. Obviously, the rest is history. But again, Breece Hall is a top 7 running back for the rest of the season. So that he's untradeable. And then Mostert, Achane's going to be implemented back, but Mostert and him can coexist. Mostert leads the NFL in touchdowns so far this season. You can't trade both of those two elite guys for Mike Evans, who I know has 20 fantasy points a game, and we get that. But it's not like he's the second coming of Jesus, okay? Like you're just not getting correct value. Saquon's great, but the other two have a lot of risk for two elite guys, so I wouldn't do it.
Let's see. Should I trade away Pittman for? I'm guessing this is Nico Collins and Zach Moss. So
Pittman for Nico Collins and Zach Moss? Yes.
I would do that.
Absolutely. Next question.
Absolutely.
Do I have to elaborate? Zach Moss is surprisingly getting a lot of...
Even with Jonathan Taylor being healthy, which is pretty cool.
Zach Moss has been balling. Even with JT there. So.
And Nico, I think, is going to have a good second half as well.
Where's a non-trade question?
Yeah, that's all we're getting.
We're getting is trade question because the deadline's like a lot
of
leagues
Here we go.
Week.
Higgins or Evans?
To start?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You're playing with fire right now. Those are two. I would say Evans as much as I say sell high, but Higgins is if you look at, I think Sleeper came out with this, the most rostered players on losing teams, 0-8, 0-9 teams. T. Higgins is the top guy in those rosters.
Here's one, which
Cook the Niners though.
Yeah, he did.
So mad at my Niners right now. Jesus.
They have a bye week, so we'll be fine.
I was gonna cuss, but I'm not gonna cuss.
Here's one that I actually really like because I never thought that this question would come up. Should I start Kareem Hunt or Brian Robinson Jr.?
Kareem Hunt.
3
straight 15 fantasy point games. Now, again, if you guys check out my video from earlier today that I posted, Kareem Hunt is a sell high guy. I think you need to sell him high. You need to get value in return right now because Jerome Ford's coming back off of injury. And Kareem Hunt is, I think, a winner this week, but this might be the last week. And if we're looking, who's the other guy? Brian Robinson? Mm-hmm. He's had one game over 16 fantasy points, and it was against the Broncos. It was against the Broncos, who everybody goes off against as a running back. So again, I don't trust Brian Robinson. I know, but yeah. What are your thoughts there?
I don't know. Brian Robinson hasn't done anything for me since I think the first couple weeks of the season. Like you said, he hasn't eclipsed 16 fantasy points at all. So I'm kind of off on him in general. He's been on my bench, just as a backup, maybe a RB2 or maybe a flex if somebody's hurt or on a bye. So I'm out on Brian Robinson. Let's do something here. Yeah. Let's go. Are you starting Addison or Lockett? That is a great question. With Justin Jefferson out. And
Jaron Hall's quarterback.
And Jackson Smith-Njigba has been playing really good.
And DK's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Jordan Addison. I think Addison, he has 6 receiving touchdowns. I know Kirk Cousins got hurt. Jaron Hall's first career start. I think Hawkinson and Addison are going to get the checkdowns. There's going to be a lot of design plays for them. Kevin O'Connell is not an idiot. I mean, he learned under Sean McVay. I mean, he's an offensive guy. Now he's turned into really a nice offensive mind in the NFL, one of the great young coaches. I mean, he cooked the Niners. But everybody's been cooking the Niners. I'm going to stop with my team right now, but Burrow was like freaking 19 of 19 to start the game.
I know.
Niners have the most annoying defense of all time. That should be by far the best defense in football. It shouldn't be like no one should even be able to touch their shoes. Steve Wilkes is a moron.
No, he's right.
But anyways, let's go back to that. I guess I'm never working for the Niners.
This guy Ernest said traded Gus Edwards and Lockett for Puka. Did I get ripped off?
Gus Edwards and Lockett for Puka?
Yeah.
Did you get ripped off? That's a win, brother.
Yeah,
like Puka is excellent. Puka is excellent. Gus Edwards, yeah, he got a touchdown, whatever. Hill is going to get touchdowns sometimes. Lamar is going to be stealing touchdowns from him sometimes. So at the end of the day, you're getting a guy like Puka Nacua who has out-targeted and out-produced Cooper Kupp over the past 2 weeks. So right now he's the wide receiver 1 on the Rams over the past 2 weeks. There's no doubt about it. There's literally no evidence you can tell me Cooper Kupp is the top guy right there right now. And Lockett is my sell-high guy. I said in my video earlier today that you guys should check out if you haven't already. Lockett is a sell-high guy. DK's coming off of injury. He's going to get going. Smith-Njigba has been great. Jake Bobo, UCLA legend, Jake Bobo. I saw him play against SC. He dominated us last year. SC, Jesus Christ. I'm going to the Washington game tomorrow, so wish me luck. Hopefully Caleb Williams and USC can actually win matchup. Would love to see my
I would love
alma mater beat Washington. I mean, Stanford almost beat Washington, so hopefully.
Yeah, true. Washington hasn't been looking
Stanford's
great.
Quarterback's pretty good. Asher Daniels.
Yeah.
And IU Manor's pretty good. But anyways, let's go back to it. Okay, what's another? Give me another question.
Here we go. A.J. Brown and Pacheco. So A.J. Brown, Pacheco for St. Brown and Kenneth Walker. That is a pretty good trade. See, these people really have to put which team they are.
I would do it. If you're getting St. Brown, and look,
which team you guys
listen
are.
Listen to this. So here's my reasoning. It's so hard to trade A.J. Brown right now. Okay, he's 6 straight 125-plus receiving yard games. He's outproduced Tyreek Hill in combined over the past 6 weeks. I still have Tyreek as 1, A.J. Brown 2. But you're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's basically a top 5 receiver, 7 max. You're getting an elite guy who maybe has a better rest of the season than A.J. Brown. We just don't know. I mean, teams are going to have to start game planning, doubling A.J. Brown. Devontae is going to have to go off. It's going to have to happen because right now the Eagles are just it's house money for them throwing to A.J. Brown. Again, I digress. Kenneth Walker has more upside than Pacheco. He was hurt last week, 8 fantasy points, still ran for that 45-yard rush when he was hurt. I mean, he's a touchdown machine. He plays on a very good team that's going to run the football in the red zone. They are going to get him the ball. I know Charbonnet is there, but we haven't seen much from him yet. Pacheco's great, but I prefer Walker over Pacheco. It's an even trade, but I think you're banking on Amon-Ra St. Brown's upside. They have an easy schedule the rest of the way, the Lions. I would accept that trade if you're getting Brown and Kenneth Walker and parting ways with A.J. Brown. I just feel like it's crazy to say that. But what you're getting, I think Walker's upside is so much more vast than Pacheco, who plays in an offense that's really predicated on Travis Kelce and getting other guys. And McKinnon will steal some touches from him sometimes. Edwards Hilaire, guys like that. So
trade away K9, and K9 is Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah. No.
That's all the question says.
No.
Trade away Kenneth Walker.
I would say F no. No way. Kenneth Walker is that dude.
Yeah,
Don't trade
I
him.
like Walker.
Don't trade
him. Let's see. Boyd or Dotson?
Dotson. Next question.
Trade Gibbs for JT. They already have Montgomery.
I got this question earlier, and it might be the same guy. Who wrote that?
Tyus?
Maybe it's the same guy who DM'd me this. I would say no. Now, I came out with a video earlier on that was saying keep Gibbs. This was after he was getting 8 fantasy points per game, and Montgomery had just scored 3 or 4 touchdowns. And everyone was flaming me. Why keep Gibbs? You must own Gibbs on your fantasy team. Well, look who's talking now. I mean, the guy's back-to-back 30 fantasy point games. Now, there is a possibility Montgomery comes back and the Lions are so dumb that they don't even understand Gibbs is better and they, revert him to, 60% snap share instead of 80. Again, I don't know if Montgomery plays this week. At the same time, JT still has Zach Moss as well. So they're both dealing with another running back. Of course, JT has the money. Gibbs is the rookie, the prize guy. I think it'd be stupid to trade Jahmyr Gibbs right now. He's back-to-back 30 fantasy point games. I think the Lions are starting to understand, we can really win games if we utilize this kid more. I think they're finally realizing what most football fans and most fantasy managers have already seen from the guy coming out of Alabama. So I wouldn't make that trade. I think Gibbs is more value.
The next one, Eckler for Pollard and Smith. I'm assuming it's Devontae Smith?
Yeah. Eckler for Pollard and Smith.
Yeah.
It depends. If you're like really weak at wide receiver and running back, like if you need depth, do it.
Yeah, he said yes, Devontae Smith. So,
Devontae Smith. Yeah. And do you need depth?
I don't.
Okay, I know we're gonna get like 1,000 questions. Again, I'm sorry. I love all you guys. I just wanted you to know that I love all you guys. I'm gonna try and answer all the questions we can right now. But I would say do it because a lot of people are hating on me because I'm a big Pollard guy. I look at the advanced stats. Like if we're just and we're watching the games too. Pollard is getting like 90% of touches on the team. Sure, the touchdowns haven't been there, but this is a guy who's uber talented. They're going to utilize. I mean, he only didn't get the ball last week because they were up by so much. They just took him out. They're like, why risk injury? Right? Half the time they didn't utilize him. They're like, why are we going to get this guy involved when CeeDee Lamb has 3 touchdowns and stuff like that? Devontae Smith is going to get going. We saw a little bit of that last week.
So he's saying he would get Eckler.
Oh, he would get Eckler?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he would get
interesting.
Eckler.
I would keep your team. I like Eckler. I love him. I think he's great. But again, I think Pollard selling he's a buy low guy, not a sell high guy. And same thing with Devontae Smith. So if you're doing the math, Pollard's going to improve rest of the season. Devontae Smith's going to improve rest of season because they can't get much worse than they're actually doing right now. And you're getting a guy who's excellent, but can you avoid losing that depth and getting back, Eckler? If you can, if you have like McCaffrey at running back and you have another guy on the bench you're not even playing, that's really good, then you can do it, right?
Yeah, somebody said, do I trade McCaffrey for Keenan and Don't trade McCaffrey at all. Just keep McCaffrey. Well,
what happens if you're with for Pollard and the wife?
No, don't.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm sure some of you guys saw the thing on Twitter where the guy was like, "Yo, I'll let you pay my wife if like I give you I give you Pollard and you can."
Don't trade McCaffrey.
No, don't trade McCaffrey for. Don't even do that. Don't trade McCaffrey ever. Yeah. Don't trade him ever. I mean, the guy's gonna win everybody leagues. And again,
unless you get like
to my grave, who was the only creator on TikTok that said McCaffrey #1? Everyone was like Justin. And look, I'm not gonna toot my horn that much. I'm wrong sometimes. Everybody's wrong. But I pride myself on being right on a lot of things, and that was one of them. I said McCaffrey is the #1 fantasy player. Screw Justin Jefferson. Screw Jamar Chase. That all the other creators were like, oh, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, McCaffrey. Having an elite running back wins leagues. That's why I told everyone to draft him 1, and that's why I said everyone draft ETN at the top of the second round because those 2 guys are superstars. Turns out I was right on both of them.
Aaron Jones and Drake London for Bijan. Drake London is out this week.
I would do it. And this is why. Jones has disappointed me. One of the things, I admit when I'm wrong, I thought Jones would have an excellent year. That offense predicated on Jordan Love's passing game. We saw that in week 1 when Jones had like 40 fantasy points against the Bears. I mean, the guy has sucked recently. He's been like really bad, and I hate to say it. And so has Dylan. So most of that team has been. Watson is also a guy I was high on that hasn't been doing anything. I'm out on all Packers. And Drake London, like, they're going to have to get Pitts involved. Arthur Smith is not trustworthy. We've talked about this. And Grant, you can attest to this. I would accept that trade in a heartbeat because you're getting who are you getting?
Bijan.
Bijan is going to have a great rest of the season.
It's Aaron Jones and Drake London for Bijan.
Bijan is going to have a great rest of the season. And he has an excellent playoff schedule, by the way. Excellent. Him, Rashad White, Derrick Henry, guys that are buy low, Pollard, guys like that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Elaborate. It's your podcast too, brother.
No.
I'll put the camera right here.
Look, we agree. What's up, guys? Listen,
the excellent Grant Mona here.
I don't know what's going on with Arthur Smith, but he hates all fantasy players. But Bijan Robinson is a really good football player, and I feel like eventually, if the Falcons keep winning games that they shouldn't be, Bijan's still going to see some playing time, and he's still going to see a lot of touches. I know that he had that one game where he was sick. But I think...
that's because he said what's up to book it with Trent before the game. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I don't know what's going on with Arthur Smith, but I digress.
But what's the next question?
Should I trade Sanders for Singletary?
No. I think they both suck. You should not have either of those guys playing.
Okay. Should I trade DJ Moore for Garrett Wilson? Because Garrett Wilson... I don't know about him with...
No.
Zach Wilson.
I mean, yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Still don't know.
DJ Moore has suffered from no Justin Fields over the past few weeks. I think that's the big thing. Now Justin Fields is practicing. We're going to see DJ Moore have some of that more explosive games that he had. He's never going to beat 49 fantasy points again, but he's bound to get 20 plus a lot. Let me look right here. Trade Adams away for Gibbs and Judy. That's a good question. That is, if you need depth, yes. But I think Adams is a buy low guy.
Question.
That's a great question because Adams is they're going to implement him. You got the guy saying he loves, his players, and we won't elaborate on what else he said, the head coach, which was pretty odd. But again, I digress. New system, they're going to get the player involved. Aiden O'Connell, in the one game he's played in, he was targeting the shit out of Devontae Adams, right, and less Jacoby Myers. So I would trade Jacoby Myers if you guys have Jacoby Myers, and I would get Devontae Adams. He's a buy low guy.
You're going to love this question.
So again, it depends. If you need depth, yes, but if you don't, no. Most questions are going to be answered by that.
Half PPR league.
Okay.
Start Downs, who's your guy, Christian Watson, who I hate right now, and Rashee Rice. So you have the pick between those three. Who's
start? Downs playing? I forgot who the Colts are playing.
Yeah.
No, the Colts are favored. They're playing Texans, no?
Panthers. At Panthers.
That doesn't matter. That team sucks. So he's acting like that mattered. He's like, oh, they're playing in Carolina.
Well, listen, I don't know about whether the Colts playing an indoor stadium. It does have a factor on it. So
that's a tough one. You know what? I'm going to say Josh Downs. It's close. I love Rashee Rice.
Yeah,
and Rashee Rice is poised for a big game in Frankfurt, Germany against the Dolphins secondary that's been really bad recently, 14th in the NFL against the pass. Panthers suck against everything right now. Is J.C. Horn even healthy yet again? Even if he was, the rest of the defense is not good right now. And I think at the end of the day, Josh Downs has, I believe, and I said this weeks ago, that Downs was the guy you need to pick up. He's consistently been on my waiver wire list. And he's one of those guys that I said was going to be a winner for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And now I think he's finally becoming that, right? Like 14 fantasy points, I think, last week, 22 the week before. He's a lock-it-in 12-plus fantasy points. And we talked about this. Anthony Richardson would not target him, but our boy Gardner Minshew does. So that's something we have to consider. And, so I would start Downs over Rice. All right, what's the next one?
I like this one. Do I start Gibbs or Montgomery if both are healthy, but this person also has Eckler?
Why can't you start Eckler and then one of them?
Well, they're asking Gibbs or Montgomery.
Oh, between those two, because you have to start Eckler.
Yeah. As the RB2, I'm assuming.
Gibbs. Wow. Come on, bro. Montgomery's coming off of an injury. They're really going to use him like that?
Montgomery was really good when he was healthy.
But again, those guys aren't playing this week, by the way.
Yeah, no, they have.
This is for next week.
I'm assuming that's what it is.
Be careful. There's a lot of guys on bye this week. Niners are on bye week. I was thinking about that. I was like, wait. Eckler.
Even if
Jameer's
they're
on a
healthy.
bye, Christian McCaffrey's on a bye.
Yeah.
Don't trade Christian McCaffrey just because he's on a bye again.
Oh God!
What's another question?
Don't do that. Would you trade Connor and Amari Cooper, or Ridley for Pollard?
Yes.
So you like? Well, he likes Pollard a lot.
Connor and Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade Ridley. Ridley is like week to week win. He's like Jalen Waddle last year, but to a lesser extent. If that makes sense. Okay. Like he has week-to-week winning upside. We saw that last week with the 15 fantasy points. And he has some weeks where he's going to give you one. He's like a Gabe Davis plus. Like if he was a streaming service, we'd call Ridley Gabe Davis plus. A vertical threat who's a little better than Gabe Davis. They're going to utilize a little more than Gabe Davis on a week-to-week basis, but still has that downside of cryptocurrency, right? Up and down, fluctuation, could have one fantasy point. Cooper, I love Cooper, but for me, I value Ridley a little more than Cooper just because Deshaun sucks. He's really hasn't been good this year. And P.J. Walker likes to target him. That's a tough one, man. That's a lot to give up for Pollard. Again, Connor's going to come back and play well, but who knows if they're going to rush him back because they're 1-8 anyways, right? Like 1-7, 1-8. They're going to be 1-8. They might not win another game the rest of the year. They won't only win against the Cowboys, which is crazy. I would say yes, because if you need a running back, because Connor's hurt. So I would say Cooper and Connor for Pollard is a good trade because I think Pollard's going to pop off. I think it starts this weekend too.
Here's a question I like: trade Addison and Gibbs for Eckler. I'd keep
Addison and Gibbs.
I would too.
Go on. What are your thoughts on that?
I just think that those two guys are on the up right now. Eckler. There's still a lot of injury questions. I still have a lot of questions about the Chargers defense or offense, even with Kellen Moore. And Addison has looked like a great WR1 in place of Justin Jefferson. I'd say just keep the two. I mean, Gibbs has looked excellent too. They're both on the way up. That's all I gotta say.
Gibbs and Addison. Yeah. Next question.
Puka or Higgins?
I like that one. Puka. Next question.
Wait.
I like the question, but Higgins should never be started over Puka Nacua.
Even against
I don't care if Rypien plays. Who's your backup?
God,
Rypien?
Rypien.
That guy sucks. Where's Wolford?
No, he stayed with the Bucs.
And Stetson Bennett's still on a bender?
Yeah, he's...
Poor guy. I hope he gets help.
Yeah.
He had a drinking problem at Georgia.
I don't like that one. Bijan for Chris Godwin and Pollard.
Bijan for Chris Godwin and Pollard. Who are you getting? Chris Godwin and Pollard? Yes, make that trade tomorrow. Godwin is like a
Godwin's
lock it in.
Still good.
Godwin, I think, has only missed 5 receptions 4 times over the past 2 years. Like he's consistent.
As long as he's healthy, he's still
we got more
really
questions
good.
here. I'll start answering them. If I sell Montgomery, who should you sell for? I'm gonna get out of the camera because we're also recording this, putting it on YouTube too. I wouldn't sell Montgomery because you don't know. Like he could come back and be excellent, and they could utilize him just like they used Gibbs. I don't know what Dan Campbell is gonna do or Ben Johnson. So again, is Cup top 5? Not this week. Hell no. I mean, until I see it. I mean, back-to-back bad weeks from Cup matters. It matters.
Do I start Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts?
Okay. Josh Allen is my guy. I love Josh Allen.
They're playing the Bengals.
I don't care. It's a primetime game.
And Jalen Hurts is playing the Cowboys.
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen is my guy, man. I love that guy.
Do we hold Aaron Jones or sell while we can?
Sell. You're not going to get much value, but I just don't see his outlook getting substantially better. I mean, he has had weeks to prove stuff. So has Jordan Love. Perhaps Jordan Love plays a little better, but I just see it. I don't see it, progressing to the level where he's going to be valuable. I mean, I'd trade him for Brandon Ayuk. I'd trade him for frickin' Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's a buy low guy now because he's going to come off injury. And look what the Niners had. 3 games without Deebo Samuel. They lost every single one of them. People are saying, Deebo, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't earned his money. But, but he's that decoy. When they have Jawan Jennings in as the wide receiver, too, they can't win football games. That's and Trent Williams, too, is a big part of that.
The starting lineup, they keep asking this.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Diggs.
Okay.
Chase.
Okay.
ETN. Breece Hall, Laporta, and
Sounds
Mostert.
like a championship team to me.
Excellent. How did you pull that one?
How do you pull that one?
How did you?
4-man league. No, I'm kidding.
That's
great
really
drafting, though, man.
That's
great
really
drafting.
good.
It's the next question.
I like this one. What is Deontay Johnson's fantasy value for the rest of the season?
I think it's pretty substantial.
He's getting more looks than
Okay, did you guys see that Pickens play? How did that guy not get 2 feet down in the – I mean, look, I'll stand up for a second. I'm pretty tall, so again – okay. So, he has this is the rest of the end zone, right? Like, here to here, okay? The guy catches the ball here. He has the rest of the stuff, right, the rest of the end zone, and he gets 1 foot down. He's like this. And again, sorry if I know a lot of you guys probably think I'm a pipsqueak. I'm actually 6'6", 242, but slight brag for a sec. But again, I was out of the frame. But again, Pickens, no, I don't trust him. Deontay Johnson's upside, really, really high. Really high. Yeah.
Better RB this week, Chuba or Ford?
Chuba. Next question. I like Ford, but Kareem Hunt being there does take away a little bit of snaps.
With Pierce out, should I start Devin Singletary or Kareem Hunt?
Devin Singletary, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt.
Ferguson or Hawkinson?
Hawkinson. Though I both think they're top 6 tight ends.
Me too.
I really think they're both top 6 tight ends. Yeah.
Should I sell Gibbs and Puka for Breece?
Too much.
Keep
Gibbs and Puka.
Too much.
Keep Gibbs. I mean, Puka and Gibbs are both those dudes right now. So
Burrow or Tua this week?
Okay, so that's a better question. Burrow. I mean, Burrow's coming off of his best game. His first healthy game, he puts up 30 fantasy points against my beloved 49ers, who we won't talk about. I mean, I'm having nightmares about the team right now. Going to be one of the biggest chokes in history if they can't win a Super Bowl over the past 5 years. They should have had one already.
He's right.
They should still have one. But Kyle, I don't trust him in big games. I just don't. And I don't trust Brock Purdy in big games. And that's a hot take. Everyone loves Brock Purdy, and I like him. He's good. More than a system quarterback. He's talented. But I don't trust him going into Lincoln Financial and beating the Eagles, by the way. That's just – and I'm a Niners fan saying that again. But going back to it,
I agree with you.
What was the point there? Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, we get a lot of questions.
Okay, go on. What's the next one?
There's a good. Oh, is it time to bench Olave? Because I have Olave too, so I'd love to hear what you think about this. He has been not good at all. He has not been good at all. And I want to stick with him, but there's an inclination in me that just wants to sit him.
Death? Taxes? Olave starting in your freaking lineup.
No.
What are we doing?
What?
Carr looked excellent last week,
Not to Olave. Olave gives up on the routes when he throws the ball. Am I just going to keep going?
Ever since he was arrested, he sucks
I don't care about the label of Olave. What production is he giving me?
Okay, he gave you 10 fantasy points because he was in jail till 5 a.m. like 2 nights before the game.
It doesn't matter. Okay, can I trust a guy that does that in fantasy? Because
I love it how he told the cop I played for the Saints to try and get off. I'm sorry, that was a little side note. I would still play Olave. I like his upside. I mean, Carr looked great. They're playing the Bears. The Bears freaking suck. Jalen Johnson's still there, so Jalen Johnson's probably going to be on him, which is a little bit of a. But I mean, he's a slot guy a lot of the times. They use Michael Thomas there, but they'll also put Olave in the slot sometimes and run slants, and that's what Carr likes to do. Kamara will probably get a lot of the checkdowns. If you have someone a little better, I would start if you have a Ayuk, I would start Ayuk over him. At this point, I think Ayuk's more valuable, but Ayuk isn't playing this week, so that was a bad example. Who's playing this week? Cooper? Are the Browns playing this week? I would start Cooper over him, even. But I still think Olave, if you don't have a better option on the bench, I think he's still a must-start. He's getting the target share. I think he's top 5 to 10 in targets so far this season. And, again, I think Carr is playing better. It's only positive moving forward.
Kincaid or Hawkinson?
That's a tough one. I think they both finish as top 5 tight ends. I don't think you can go wrong, but I think Hawkinson's going to get a boatload of checkdowns. Rookie quarterback, there's going to be design plays by Kevin O'Connell to both Addison and Hawkinson to get them in space by this guy. I mean, Jaron Hall's, I saw him at BYU play. I mean, he's okay. He's not a world beater by any means, but he can throw those, he should be able to throw past the linebacker in front of the safeties on some post routes or end around, not end around, but, throughout where you come back in between through the safeties.
We got Palmer.
Shallow cross, seam routes, any of that. He should be able to throw.
Palmer, Everett, or Cooks at the flex. I know my answer for that one.
Palmer. Was that your answer?
No.
Who are you going to put? Cooks?
Yeah, absolutely. I like Brandon Cooks. And he was great last week against...
wait. Chargers playing the Jets? I was just thinking. Cooks. My bad. I changed my answer. And I wasn't peer pressure by you. I had thought about it. But Cooks was great last week, and Philly's secondary has been terrible this year.
And Palmer got banged up, too. I don't even know if he's going to be healthy.
I think we're going to see a Herbert, he had a legacy game last week against the Bears. We're going to see a Herbert down game. I think the Jets win that football game.
Kareem or Zach Moss? I like that question. Kareem Hunt or Zach Moss?
Kareem Hunt. Ooh. Close. Very close, though. I like Kareem Hunt for one more week, but you should try and trade him while the value's high. Yeah.
Pick one. Waddle, Allen, or Godwin?
Waddle.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Waddle's fantastic.
That's
pretty good, actually.
That's my boy, ready?
That's pretty good, actually.
That's the best touchdown dance in the NFL. I love Jalen Waddle.
We got
a little bit. You got a little bit for the recap. I love Jalen Waddle. He's a must start. And everyone was hating on me for saying give Waddle time, and it was like it's week 6. How much time do we need? It's about championships, and he's finally balling. So
they're all saying, "Oh, Waddle sucks." You guys relax.
Waddle's great. Waddle is that whole Dolphins can go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, their defense is a question. Devin Singletary or Madison?
That's like trusting.
That's a mid-off.
That's like trusting a 1.5 star contractor to come, or a plumber to get a rat out under the house. A 1.5 star. I mean, he could screw up your plumbing even more. I mean, those are two both really bad starts. I wouldn't start either of those guys. But if I had to choose Madison, or actually, wait, no Dameon Pierce, Singletary.
Yeah, I'd go Singletary.
So bad though, both so bad. I mean, Singletary has no burst. His knees are creaky knees. It's like what you call Marcus Morris, right? Former Clipper Marcus Morris, which we'll get into that in Polar Sports Talk, the other podcast.
Is there any instance you'd trade Hill, which is, I'm assuming Tyreek Hill, for more starting depth? I'm 6-2, but I lost guys to injury.
Yeah, I would. You could trade him if you're getting Pollard and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, you got to trade real high.
Pollard and Ayuk, I would even do it.
You got to trade real
Pollard
high.
and Debo, I would do. I mean, look, you can get like a gauntlet of guys, like a huge package. Pause. But you know what I mean. You could get. You're gonna say it, right? I beat you to it. I was
gonna say it.
But you could get a lot, and it's funny because Tyreek does want to be a porn star after his career.
I know.
So
what is that about?
That was weird. Why would you play in the NFL and then want to be a porn star?
He's just a loose cannon, that Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm not sure his girlfriend was too happy about him saying that.
I don't care. I don't think he cares either because
Tyreek is a beast, though. Again, I wouldn't trade him if you don't need depth, but if you've got guys from injury that aren't coming back soon, I think you can pull the trigger and trade him. Yeah.
I'll answer this one. Will Kupp have a comeback? I'm gonna say no, just because there's a let me just say this week no, just because we don't know what's going on with Matt Stafford. Puka Nacua has actually looked like the WR1 even when Kupp came back. I know Kupp has gotten good stats, but if you look at what the quarterback situation is, even if Matthew Stafford is healthy enough to play, you're playing at Green Bay, and the Rams really don't play well in cold weather, especially with Matthew Stafford with a bad thumb. So I don't think they're going to get the passing game going a lot. Puka and Cooper Kupp are still going to get looks and targets, but I just don't think that you're going to see the output that you're expecting from guys like that. So I'd stay away from Kupp right now.
I have different takes.
All right, go ahead.
I have a different take. I'd play Kupp.
That's fine.
Why are you out on Kupp?
Huh?
Why are you out on Kupp?
I don't know if you've watched the Rams play over
He's
the last couple
Cooper
weeks.
Kupp.
He wasn't last week or the week
Who
before
was
that.
He?
He was actually like DeMarcus Robinson or like McCole Hardman on a punt return.
Robinson.
That's what he looked like.
Why are you hating on DeMarcus Robinson?
Because he's not even in our wide receiver room anymore. That's why. I'm a Rams fan, by the way, guys. That's why I'm venting right now.
Oh, man.
Listen, I watch the Rams more than anybody, and I love Cooper Kupp. He's a Super Bowl champion. I love him, but I am out this week on Cooper Kupp. We'll let you guys decipher that.
Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's a must. This isn't even a question. He's Cooper Kupp. That's like saying, let's sit Devontae Adams because he's been bad. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams.
Well, if you need a good quarterback throwing to Devontae Adams.
Not really.
Yes, you do.
He had 50 fantasy points with Jimmy Garoppolo one week.
That was when Jimmy Garoppolo still had some wit and sense to him after he got his lights knocked out of him.
I don't know what he's been doing in Vegas, but Jimmy is not locked in.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Start Cooper Kupp. Come on.
Pause on this one. Thoughts on Giants D versus the Raiders? That's actually good because I was thinking about this because my...
Pause. He said pause or you said pause?
No, I said pause.
Thoughts on Raiders D?
Giants D versus Raiders.
I don't like it. I actually think the Raiders are going to come out and win this football game.
Ooh.
I think Aiden O'Connell is talented. I think he's going to target Devontae Adams. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a decent day. Giants' defense has looked better, but it's going to be about Daniel Jones. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than we think. I think a lot of people, the over-under is probably going to be like 35 or something. I think let's go over. I think Daniel Jones is going to run for 60 yards. I think he's going to, try and play a little well. I mean, if you can contain Max Crosby even a little bit, you can beat the Raiders. And I think at the same time, I think that, again, I think the Giants. So to answer your question, no, do not start Giants defense.
Yeah, because you got the Raiders. Should I trade Hollywood and Gibbs for Kenneth Walker?
No, too much. Next question.
Ooh.
Hollywood's been good, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Clayton Tune's going to be playing it, but you're going to have Kyler, who played college with him, back maybe this week or the week after. So Hollywood is a must keep right now.
Thoughts on Taylor Heineke, because he's starting for the Falcons this week.
I love Taylor Heineke.
Me too.
That guy's a stud. That guy's got moxie. If we're talking like guys you want like leading a locker room, it's that guy. I like him. They're playing Falcons. Are playing who?
Ooh, shoot, good question. I don't think it's a divisional matchup, is it? They play the Vikings. And it's in Atlanta, so it doesn't really matter. They're both. Dogs,
I like him to get about 15, 16 fantasy points.
Okay.
If that answers your question, like I would prefer Sam Howell. I would prefer.
Yeah.
A lot of other guys, but if it's a streaming option, there's guys on bye week. He's a decent streaming option. Yeah.
We got start two. I'm going to give you some names.
Okay.
Tank Dell.
Okay.
McBride. I'm assuming this is Michael Thomas and Douglas. This is a full PPR. So you start two of Dell, McBride, Thomas, or Douglas.
You're gonna hate this. Start Douglas. People don't know who he is, but he got about 11 targets last week and 8 the week before. New England's going up against a Commanders defense that's the worst in the league now without Chase Young and Montez Sweat. They're not going to be able to rush the quarterback. There's going to be a lot open downfield. I think Douglas gets 20-plus fantasy points this week. Now, I could absolutely be wrong. I'm just looking at projections and the way I've watched the Patriots the last couple of weeks. I think Mac Jones has one of his best games all season.
And what's the other one? So it's Tank Dell, McBride, or Michael Thomas for the other one. Man, Tank Dell, he had a good 3 weeks.
Dell, yeah. Dell, he hasn't been good recently. Yeah. Michael Thomas, to me,
it's boom bust.
You just never know. You never know. I wish I could give you more. I just don't. In my gut is telling me no Michael Thomas. It's telling me Tank Dell and Douglas. And I hope I'm right. I hope I win you your matchup. And if I lose your matchup on those two, feel free to DM me. I'll apologize. Again, that's just what my projections are thinking.
Someone dropped Debo in this guy's league, and he picked him up. Good choice.
Is the sky blue?
What?
That's an excellent choice.
Why would he drop him?
No. I mean, look, people get very impatient in fantasy.
That's
leagues.
true.
People get very impatient. I mean, by the way, Debo is going to come back and be excellent. Yeah. So I think it's a great pickup. Keep him there. He's coming back after the bye week. I think he's going to be good. We'll do this for 5 more minutes, and we got to get to our other pod.
Chuba or Moss for full PPR?
You answer that.
Zach Moss, man. Even with Jonathan Taylor, I like Zach Moss. I think that he's a great pass-catching back. I know Jonathan Taylor's a really good running back, and they're making that 2 running back look work. And I just like I have Zach Moss in one of my leagues, and he's been getting me consistent points, consistent value. So I like Zach Moss in that one.
I agree.
Let's go. Who could I sell Cup for? I have Chase, CD, McCaffrey, and Eckler. So they have 3 really good, 2 great receivers and 2 great running backs. 3 great receivers because they have CD, Chase, and Cup.
And then who else?
McCaffrey and Eckler.
So who are they trying to trade?
They're just asking who could I sell Cup for? What would his value be?
I don't think it's a time to sell Cup. You might think so, but I think Cup, you should keep him. I mean, he's had back-to-back bad weeks. Wait till he has a good week and then trade him.
Okay.
That's what I would
do. That's fair. I like that one. Tank Dell or Darrell Henderson for flex?
Tank Dell or Darrell Henderson for flex? Henderson.
That's a good pick. I like that.
I mean, Packers can't defend the run, can they?
Should I play? Well, Henderson's going to get a lot of touches. That's what I'm going to bank on.
Yeah. Touches. Volume is king.
Should I play Metcalf?
Yes. Metcalf's a lock-it-in start. Metcalf's a guy to buy right now low because I think he's going to be good. A couple more minutes here.
Let's see. You got a lot of flex RB2. Should I trade Josh Jacobs for Bijan?
Yes.
Ooh.
You're going to say no?
Well, I don't know. I just don't trust.
I don't trust the Raiders.
I don't trust either of those teams.
Yeah.
But I like Bijan a lot. Chuba or Ford for RB2?
Ford.
Let's see if I can scroll.
And again, if we don't get to your questions, follow me, DM me. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Soon as possible. Yeah.
Start Gabe Davis or Nico Collins?
Collins. Next question.
I like that. That's a good answer.
It could be a Gabe Davis day, though. Yeah. Germany. Anything can happen in Germany. That sounded really weird. Germany. Anything could happen in Germany. I think history has shown.
Should Fournette be stashed because he just got picked up?
Well, but no. Last year's Germany game history. Just look at history. Last year, didn't they have a Germany game and someone went off? I can't remember who it was, but someone went off. Gabe Davis, a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Didn't Brady go to Germany last year?
I think it was, and it wasn't. It wasn't that was Julio Jones on that team, or was that 2 years ago?
I think he was.
I think he went off. Look, there's some weird things that happened in Germany for in those games last year. But I would say don't not Gabe Davis. Yeah.
Should Fournette be stashed because he's on the Bills now?
Yes. I don't think I think they're really mad at James Cook. I mean, they haven't utilized him at all. He hasn't been good in a few weeks. I think Fournette. I mean, did you see his hamstrings and his quad? I know. In the picture of what was that? Malcolm X on his quad? No, it wasn't Malcolm X. I don't know. Someone said it was Malcolm X. Someone said it was. Who'd someone say it was? Tony Soprano or something? Yeah. No, it wasn't on his squad. But Fournette is, he's a beast.
Should I pick up Keontae Ingram and drop Eli Mitchell? Demarcate is out.
Yeah, I would do it.
Man, you're in a tough spot, buddy.
I don't think Keontae is going to be excellent, but I think you have to if Demarcate is out, which he is. So.
Here's a big trade. Yeah. Walker and Mahomes for Prescott and Eckler. Walker and Mahomes.
Keep Walker and Mahomes.
Yeah. I know Mahomes has not been as, excellent as
You'll see Dak in a big game this weekend. Dak in big games. They don't go.
He played. Listen. Nobody get caught up in that Rams-Cowboys hype. The Rams just.
It wasn't a big game. No offense to the Rams.
No, it's true. Josh Downs or Tyler Lockett?
Josh Downs. Next question. Downs is gonna have a good week.
Ooh, trade Debo for Devontae Adams.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Debo's great. That's actually going to be a fairer trade than a lot of people think, because I think when Debo comes back, he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
But again.
And then start Mostert or Michael Thomas. I'm assuming this is a flex option because those are two different positions.
Mostert or Michael Thomas?
Yeah. I'd go Mostert. Still don't trust Michael Thomas.
Mostert.
I
think Mostert's a great start. I don't trust Michael Thomas.
Start Boyd or Shaheed?
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Ooh, Logan Thomas or Taysom Hill for tight end?
Taysom 3 straight 15-plus fantasy point games. Last question.
Neo Jersey G, you are the best. Thank you for saying you guys
like
are
this
awesome.
format? I like it too. I wish we could go in the studio a lot. We got to run it out for the podcast. But yeah, I mean, TikTok Live.
What do you want? One more question?
One more question. But answer, a few more questions.
Let's see. What do you think about Kyle Pitts? Because I have a lot of thoughts on Kyle Pitts.
I like Kyle Pitts.
I do too, but do we trust Arthur Smith to give him the ball? To get him the ball?
No, but who else? I mean, there's the Ingram's on a bye, Kittle's on a bye, Laporta's on a bye. Like, Pitts is a top 8 tight end this week. I want Grant Mona to answer this question.
What, Kyle Pitts?
People are talking a different language in the comments.
What, Kyle Pitts? Listen,
Kyle Pitts made people talk a different language in the chat. I don't even know what language that is. I'm sorry if I can't. What is that language? Hold on. You see this?
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out this language, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but greatness. Maybe it's the language of greatness.
Maybe it's Russian. I don't know. I'm gonna say. Look, I'm still gonna stay on Kyle Pitts just because I love Kyle Pitts, just like Brandon does. I think he has uber amount of talent. I just don't trust Arthur Smith, guys, with Bijan, with him. Baby. I don't get why he doesn't play them. I'm just as frustrated as you guys. I don't get it. But yes, stay with Pitts. Stay with him.
Arthur Smith inherited about $7 billion, so I don't trust that man with anything.
Hold on. I traded Pollard and Dak for Bijan and Debo. Good trade. So 2 Cowboys for Bijan and Debo.
Great trade. For Brian Lowe and Debo.
Let's see.
One more question.
DK or Devontae?
Okay, no, wait. Should I keep both Kittle and Kincaid? I like this one. I saw it. My bad. I saw it. Sorry to the other guy. Should you keep both Kittle and Kincaid or trade one? I like keeping both. I think they're both good. I mean, Kittle has been so good recently, and I think Kincaid is a guy that, I mean, you could flex one and play the other. Obviously, Kittle isn't playing this week, so don't make that trade now. But when I think you should keep both, unless you're getting, who are you going to get in return? You could trade Kittle, and I think you'll be good, but who can you get for Kittle? That's the thing. If you can get someone, if you have a position of need, like a running back, and you can get a Pollard for Kittle, of course. If you can get a wide receiver like Ayuk for Kittle, of course, even though they're on the same team. If you can get, a Jalen Waddle for Kittle and a bench player, you do it. It depends. You need to look who in your league needs a tight end, and then make that deal. But not this week because you need, obviously, Kincaid. So maybe you can trade Kittle because he's on the bench. But I think that's going to be it. We got to wrap this up. We got to do our basketball podcast, which you guys should also check out, Baller Sports Dialogue, after this. But this has been the Fantasy Files podcast with your co-host, Brandon Deutsch and Grant Mona. Different format today. Hopefully you guys liked it. We'll probably do this more. Thank you guys for listening.